Denny Laine, is an English musician, singer, songwriter and guitarist. He was an original member of the Moody Blues, singing the band's first hit Go Now in 1964, and was a member of Wings with Paul McCartney from 1971 to 1981. Biography. Early years. Laine was born in Birmingham, where he attended Yardley Grammar School, and took up the guitar as a boy under the influence of gypsy jazz legend Django Reinhardt. He gave his first solo performance as a musician at the age of 12 and began his career as a professional musician fronting Denny Laine and the Diplomats, which also included Future Move and Electric Light Orchestra drummer Bev Bevan. Experience in famous bands. The Moody Blues. In 1964, Laine left the Diplomats to join Mike Pinder in the Moody Blues and sang the group's first big hit, Go Now. Other early highlights included I Don't Want to Go On Without You, another UK hit, plus 2 minor UK chart hits from The Bottom of My Heart, Every Day, Can't Nobody Love You, and the harmonica ripping Bye Bye Bird. A self-titled EP in their Magnificent Moody's LP on Decca followed. Laine and Pinder wrote most of the Moody Blues B-sides during the 1965-66 period, such as You Don't, and My Baby's Gone and This Is My House. However, Laine's tenure with the MBs was relatively short-lived and, after a number of comparative chart failures, Laine quit the band in October 1966. The last record issued by the Moody Blues that featured Laine was Life's Not Life / He Can Win in January 1967, just after Justin Hayward had replaced him in the band. Electric String Band and Balls. After leaving the Moody Blues, he formed the Electric String Band in December 1966, which featured himself on guitar and vocals, Trevor Burton on guitar, Viv Prince on drums and electrified strings in a format not dissimilar to what Electric Light Orchestra would later attempt. Laine made 2 singles, Say You Don't Mind / Ask the People, and Too Much in Love / Catherine's Wheel. And, in June 1967, the band shared a bill with the Jimi Hendrix Experience in Procol Harum at the Savile Theatre in London. However, it did not achieve national attention, and the pioneering Electric String Band broke up. Laine and Burton then went on to the band Balls from February 1969 until the band's breakup in 1971, with both also taking time to play in Ginger Baker's Air Force in 1970. Only one single was issued by Balls, Fight for My Country / Janny, Slow Down on UK Wizard Records. The top side was re-edited and reissued on UK Wizard and issued in the UK on Wizard and in the United States on Epic under the name of Trevor Burton. Laine and Burton shared lead vocals on the B-side. The single was reissued again as BLW. As Live in the Mountains for a Small Pie distributed label, Paladin. 12 tracks were recorded for a Balls album, but it has never been released. Laine's 1967 song Say You Don't Mind was a hit when recorded in 1972 by ex-Zombie Colin Blunstone. Wings. In 1971, Laine joined Paul McCartney to form Wings, and stayed with the group for 10 years until it disbanded in 1981. Laine provided lead and rhythm guitars, lead and backing vocals, keyboards, bass guitar and woodwinds, as well as writing or co-writing some of the group's material. Together with Paul and his wife, Linda, they formed the nucleus of the band, being called That Strange, Three-Winged Beast. It was with Wings that Laine enjoyed the biggest commercial and critical successes of his career, including co-writing the hit Mile of Kintyre. He also co-wrote and sang lead vocal on Deliver Your Children, which was released as a Wings B-side but charted in the Netherlands. In January 1980, McCartney was arrested for possession of marijuana upon arrival at an airport for a tour in Japan. The tour was cancelled and the band members, except Linda, returned to England. After returning to England, McCartney decided to release his solo album McCartney 2, and plans for an autumn US tour were dropped. Meanwhile, Laine released the single Japanese Tears, and formed the short-lived Denny Laine Band with Steve Holley and released a solo album Japanese Tears that December. On April 27, 1981, Laine announced he was leaving Wings due to McCartney's reluctance to tour in the wake of John Lennon's murder. Life after Wings, he signed with Scratch Records and began working on a new album, Anyone Can Fly. He then went on to record other solo albums such as Hometown Girls, Wings on Your Feet and Lonely Road before returning to Scratch to do his Wings at the Sound of Denny Laine. He has also had 3 fanzine publications. Laine wrote the musical Arctic Song and released 2 more albums, Master Suite and Reborn. Personal life. Denny moved to the United States in the 1990s, where he continues to tour, originally with the world classic rockers and later with the Criers. He was briefly married to JoJo Laine, with whom he had a son, Laine Hines, and a daughter, Heidi Hines. He has 3 other children from other relationships, Lucian Grant, Damian James and Ainsley Laine Adams. Discography. The Moody Blues Moody Blues singles Solo Balls reissued as by Trevor Burton Ginger Baker's Air Force Wings Solo albums Guest appearances Bootlegs Compilation albums References. Wingspan, Hits and History by Paul McCartney. External links, Denny Laine's official website, Denny Laine's MySpace page, Denny Laine and the Diplomats, a pre-Moody Blues band featuring Denny Laine, the original Moody Blues lineup, with Denny Laine on guitar and vocals, VH1.com's biography of Denny Laine 2-hour audio interview on RunRunRadio.com.